Hey, Matt from 2A Cops. I am out here today testing two different cans. Going to be comparing them. This is the Otter Creek Universe-36, which is a universal can, and this is a Exigent Defense Pointman 9mm can. This is a very, very overbuilt 9mm can that's capable of running lots of different calibers. The Universe is designed from the get-go to run multiple calibers through it. It comes with two different end caps here. Currently is wearing the vented 9mm end cap. It also comes with a non-vented 9mm end cap. There are 5.56 vented and non-vented and 7.62 vented and non-vented end caps available for it. Unfortunately, I don't have any of those available to me. So I'm going to be testing these 9mm end cap versus 9mm can. So it'll kind of give it a little bit fairer comparison. If you were going to run this can on a gun of yours in 5.56, obviously you're going to get better performance out of this can with the 5.56 end cap on it. We've got a lot of different guns that we're going to be testing this on. I've got, starting from the smallest caliber, we're going to be testing it on a 9mm. Then I'm going to move into 5.56, 300 Blackout. I've got 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, and 7.62 by 39. So lots of different stuff. We're going to be testing these. I've got a couple different microphones we're going to be running. Hopefully we can capture what these things actually sound like better than the last video I did, where the only mic I was using was the Rode wireless mics. So, enough talking, let's get to shooting. Alright, so first up, this is a MKE AP5, basically a Turkish-made MP5. I'm going to fire one round out of every gun without a suppressor on it, so you can see how loud it is on the microphone. This gun, normally I do not run a 2-port brake or a 1-port brake on a 9mm. I'm just using that because I need a Plan B hub. This is just 124 grain. I don't have any subs with me. So this is going to sound a lot louder than a 9mm normally would just because of this brake. Alright, so let's throw the Pointman9 from Exigent Defense on here first. I'm going to put 5 rounds to this gun with each suppressor. Sorry, out of each can. Okay, so now we've got the Universe-36 on here with the non-vented end cap. Nine mil vented end cap now. Alright, next up is 300 Blackout. This is a Boise Black Rifle Fat Bastard. I just did a video on this gun. We are going to run both suppressors on it. I'm going to run supers first, and then I'm going to run subs. And just like the other gun, I am going to run one round unsuppressed out of each, whether it's a super or a sub. So this was the super, unsuppressed. Damn, that's loud. Alright, let me throw a can on here. So this is the Exigent Defense Pointman9 300 black 147 grain supers. Woo! I'm getting gassed out, which is ironic because this gun is really not gassy, so it's going to be the supers. Okay, Otter Creek Universe-36 147 grain supers. That was with the vented end cap. Definitely noticing less gas with the vented end cap on this than I was out of the Pointman9. Pointman9, just for clarification, is not a flow-through design. So, alright, Universe-36 non-vented end cap with 147 grain supers. Definitely gassier with the non-vented end cap than it was with the vented end cap. Alright, you may notice the gun looks a little different. When I went to unscrew the Universe-36, the hub, which I didn't hot lock in here because it's not my can, it's a loaner can, the hub came out. So it was under the handguard. I had to pull the handguard off in order to get the hub off, and since it may happen again, I'm just going to leave the handguard off. Alright, so 300 black, unsuppressed, with subsonic ammo. I also don't have a front sight anymore, so... Cycled. Universe-36 with the non-vented end cap. Let's see how this thing sounds. Not bad. Alright, so now we're 300 blackout subs with the Exigent Defense Pointman9. Universe-36 with the vented end cap. 300 blackout subs. Alright, next up is going to be the AK. These are God knows what ammo. I've had it in an ammo can for well over a decade. It's Wolf. I think it's 124 grain. It is hollow points, which I did a little digging on the internet yesterday, and I think they were 124 grain hollow points. So first round, unsuppressed. At here. Alright, we are Exigent Defense Pointman9 on the AK. Little bit of gas in my face, but not too bad. This is the Otter Creek Universe-36 with the vented end cap. It's not bad at all. It actually sounds really good. Yeah, even with the vented end cap, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Otter Creek Universe-36 non-vented end cap. Tone definitely changed after I think it was the second round.
Yeah, it had a little bit of FRP. It still was a little duller than the Pointman.
Okay. Alright, next up is 5.56. I've got a Boise Black Rifle Cheap Bastard here. Again, just did a video on this gun. I am shooting just regular 55 grain 5.56 ammo. Gonna fire one round unsuppressed, and then we will throw a can on it and go from there.
Ow.
Okay, Pointman9 on the 5.56. The Pointman9 is rated for 5.56 out of a 10.3 barrel. This is an 11.5, so we're well within the allowed barrel length. So, 5 rounds. See how it sounds. That actually sounds pretty nice for a 9mm can. All right, we've got the Otter Creek Universe-36 with the non-vented end cap. Sounds pretty good.
It's definitely a smidge louder.
This is the Universe-36 with the vented end cap.
So, out of that mountain home, that has to be the base for A10s.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
It's
Did you use those two things? That
definitely. I mean, I would call it like old white.
Really? Yeah. Mountain home. That has to be
All right, we are shooting 308. This is 147 grain PMC bronze ammo. This is a PSA Jackal 14.5 barrel. Both of these cans are rated for 308 out of a 14.5. For that matter, the Universe doesn't have any barrel restrictions, although I can't imagine wanting to shoot a 308 on shorter than a 14.5. And first round is going to be unsuppressed. All right, we've got the Exigent Defense Pointman9 on here. See how this thing sounds. Not horrible.
Sounds pretty close to the
AK.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the Otter Creek Universe-36 with the unvented end cap. Okay, Otter Creek Universe-36 vented end cap. Apparently I didn't count my ammo right. Oh, I did put that round back in. Okay, last but not least is going to be 6.5 Creedmoor. This is a 16-inch barreled Springfield Heat Seeker 2020, and the ammo I'm shooting out of this is Federal 120 grain. And because 6.5 Creedmoor is not cheap, I'm going to be shooting 3 rounds per can, not 5. So that was unsuppressed. All right, so we've got the Exigent Defense Pointman9 on here. That was pretty quiet with my ears on. See how it sounds without my ears. Not horrible, but I don't want to completely destroy my hearing. This is the Otter Creek Universe-36 with the vented 9mm end cap. Not horrible. All right, so now we've got the Universe-36 with the non-vented 9mm end cap on here. Not bad. All right, all done shooting. Let's take this stuff back to the studio and we'll talk about it. Before we get into the specifics on these cans and what my thoughts are on them, I do need to get in here and thank my channel sponsors. Boise Black Rifle has been the longest running channel sponsor here at 2A Cops. They supply a lot of ammo for us. They help me get a lot of guns. In this particular case, they even helped me get this Universe-36, as in sent it to them. It's on their books as a loaner. So big thank you to Boise Black Rifle. Aegis Gun Care, lubes and cleaner. I cannot say enough about them. Any of the rifles that I build, whether it's a cheap bastard or a fat bastard, I'm using Aegis Gun Care lube on them. They have a fantastic suppressor cleaning system. And for that matter, they just came out with a soaking canister as well. So if you don't want to spend the money for the pressurized system, they've got a soaking tube as well. So big fan of their products, and definitely glad to have them here as a sponsor. Thank you very much to Aegis Gun Care. And last but not least is Wasson Watch Company, the watch company that knows what time it is. Wasson Watch Company is an American veteran-owned company. They are very pro-gun. They are very pro-America. If you follow them on social media, which you absolutely should, you will understand what I'm talking about. They've got 4 different models now. There's the original automatic field watch. They have an automatic dive watch. And then they have 2 different 250th United States anniversary watches. One of them is an automatic and one of them is a quartz. The quartz being the least expensive Wasson watch you can get yourself into. Doesn't matter which one you're buying. If you use 28COPS as a discount code, you will save yourself 10%. So Wasson Watch Company, take a look at them. I love them. I wear mine every single day, everywhere I go. Unless I'm working on the car and I'm going to get all greasy. All right, enough of the sponsors. Let's get into this. In the interest of full disclosure, I should talk about any relationship I got going on here. I'm a big fan of Exigent Defense cans. I own almost every single can that he makes. I'm only one that I don't have. Big fan of them. I mean, I'm designing a gun at Boise Black Rifle that we just released, the Fat Bastard, and the preferred can, the recommended can for that gun is an Exigent Defense can. So I do have a little bit of a business relationship with him. That said, I'm obviously going to be trying to be as impartial as I can. Anybody that knows me will tell you I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I'm not up here to lie to you about anything. So that's what my relationship with Exigent Defense. Otter Creek, I own a couple of Otter Creek cans that I've had for a while. Big fan of those cans as well. This one was actually sent to me on loan from Otter Creek. No exchange of money. I don't get to keep the can. It's just here for a loaner. That's my relationship with Otter Creek. So let's get into what we're talking about here. So when I sat down to edit this video, I found that my wrap-up, where I discussed all the cans, had no audio. So here I am filming it again. So first off, the mic that I'm using here is much better than the mics that I've previously used to record the sound of suppressors. That said, it's almost impossible to capture and relay exactly what a suppressor sounds like in video. Your speakers aren't going to be able to replicate it. The microphone can't replicate it. There's lots of stuff. The newer mic that I'm using here definitely does a better job at capturing the differences in sound between the different cans, different ammo, different calibers, different guns. But it is not going to be a 100% accurate representation of what the can sounds like. Just want to get that out of the way because there was a couple of comments on the video where somebody was like, oh, it doesn't do a good job, so why even bother? Well, you got to be able to have some sort of a reference, so that's what this is. This is a reference. As I noted at the beginning of the video when we were starting to shoot at the range, all I have for the Universe at the point that we were filming this was just the 9mm end caps. There are 5.56 and 7.62 specific end caps. I did not have those at the time of filming. If I'd had those caliber specific end caps, those different guns probably would have sounded differently. If at some point in the future I do get the different end caps sent to me, I will definitely reshoot some of this video and compare the 9mm end cap to the caliber specific end cap. So both cans I've got here, the Otter Creek Universe-36 and the Pointman from Exigent Defense, they're both 7 inches long. They're both 1.5 inches in diameter. The Pointman weighs 12.9 ounces while the Universe-36 weighs 14 ounces. So the Pointman is 1.1 ounce lighter. Probably not going to notice that amount of weight in your hand. And price-wise, the two cans are priced identically. So it's going to come down to what caliber you're running the gun on, what you like looks-wise. The two cans are obviously very different looking. The one thing I have to give to Otter Creek, hands down winner, is going to be the giant wrench flats that they put on the Universe-36 from a installer standpoint. It makes putting the hubs in or taking them out of that can so much easier when you've got wrench flats that are big enough that I can just lock that in a vise. So that's the physical differences between the cans and similarities. Let's get into how they actually sounded. So on the 9mm, both cans performed almost identically, and on the Universe-36, it didn't seem to matter which end cap was on it. Both cans sounded the same. I was shooting 124 grain supersonic ammo, so it was not as quiet as it could have been had I shot subs. I didn't have any subs with me. On the 300 blackout when I was shooting supers, the Universe was slightly lower tone, slightly quieter, and definitely less gassy than the Pointman. for whatever reason, running supers through the Pointman on that gun was extremely gassy. However, when we start talking about 300 black subsonic, the Pointman and the Universe-36 with the non-vented end cap sounded almost identical. The vented end cap on the Universe-36 was definitely louder. The Universe-36, and I forgot to mention this, talking about supers, both on subs and supers, the Universe-36 did have some noticeable first round pop, more so than the Pointman. Every can's gonna have first round pop, it's just how noticeable it is. The Pointman was not as noticeable as the Universe-36. Then we get to the AK. This is where the difference was actually surprising and very noticeable. The Universe-36 sounded way better to the ear than the Pointman did on the AK, which is kind of odd because I'd shot the Pointman on the AK before and was very impressed by how it sounded. I'm still impressed by how it sounds. It's still a great sounding can on the AK. The Universe just sounded better. And that went for vented or non-vented end cap on the Universe. They both sounded better than the Pointman, tone-wise. Volume-wise, the vented one was probably about the same as the Pointman, but the tone was definitely better. That said, the Universe did still suffer from some first-round pop issues, more so than the Pointman did. On the cheap bastard, the 5.56 gun. Both cans sounded surprisingly good considering we were shooting a 5.56 through a 9mm hole in the can. That's a big difference in diameter. There's a lot of room there for sound to come out, and actually I think everybody there was surprised by how good both cans did. That said, both cans were louder than a dedicated 5.56 can. If I had the 5.56 end cap for the Universe, that would probably play a big difference in how it sounded. Unfortunately, I didn't have that at the time. While both cans did a very good job on 5.56, the Pointman did slightly edge out the Universe-36 in that case. It was quieter and had better tone than the Universe. Also, again, the Universe did have some first-round pop issues. However, on the 5.56 guns, the difference was very minimal. When you get to the 308, the difference was night and day. The Pointman was the hands-down winner on the 308. No clue why. The Universe-36, no matter which end cap was on it, much harsher sound. It was crackier sounding and definitely louder. And again, first-round pop issues as well. The Pointman did phenomenal on the 308. And that could be the 14.5 barrel, it could be the choice of ammo we were shooting. There's lots of variables that go into how a can performs. But in this case, with the 14.5 barrel, the 147 grain PMC bronze, the Pointman was the hands-down winner. And everybody there agreed. There was no question about it. Then we get to the 6.5 Creedmoor on a bolt gun. So yes, I tested the vented end cap for the Universe-36 on the bolt gun. Doesn't make any sense. If you're running a bolt gun, you're not going to run a vented end cap. You're not worried about gas buildup. It's a bolt gun. So you're going to run the quietest version you can. In this case, on the 6.5 Creedmoor with a 16-inch barrel, the Pointman was the quieter of the two cans. The tone and volume-wise, the Pointman was quieter. The Universe did pretty good with the non-vented end cap, but the vented end cap got really loud. So obviously, like I said, bolt gun, you're not going to run a vented end cap. If you're running a 6.5 gas gun, like an AR-10 in 6.5 Creedmoor, you're going to have to determine whether the gas buildup in the gun is worth the difference in sound volume. So at this point, I'm giving you my opinion as to how this thing sounded. It's going to be influenced by a couple of guys who are out there with me. Will, who works as my camera guy periodically, and Jason, who is now the official key grip. Both of those guys were there and did give me their opinions as well. So that's all been weighed into what I just rattled off to you. You can watch the video, listen to the cans and how they sound to you, and you can make your own determination. What do I do with my glasses? Fuck. Right here. Thanks. I'm like looking for them on my head.
I want a production credit now.
What does that make you, a gopher?
Yeah, I'm key grip.
Key grip?
Yeah, key grip.
I need one more round.
You just yell key grip, and then I grab it and
Key grip! Nah, don't worry about it. I'll just shoot one less round. which is also influenced by a couple other people. Quit doing the fucking Elaine, Matt.